Welcome back to episode 4 of the Get You Some podcast. Today we got a very special guest known as Apple Girl Kate.
That's right, guys. She comes from the western coast of America, and we're going to see what she's got to say here on the Get You Some podcast. How you doing?
Doing good. Thank you guys for having me on. I'm sorry I can't be there in person.
Oh, that's no problem. Thanks for coming on, and I'm sure we'll get you here in person soon enough. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Apple Girl Kate.
Fourth generation apple and pear grower from North Central Washington. So you think like middle of the state, 20 minutes from Canada. And I have an online audience where I'm just like talking about how we grow fruit and like sharing some insight into farm life and all that good stuff.
Very good. So you went to college, correct?
I did. I'm a recent graduate from Washington State University.
Oh, okay. So do you think that college has actually because I know there's a big discussion with this in, today's world. Does it help you with what you're doing? Did it hinder you? Is it a scam? Like, how did college help affect, what you've come to today?
Oh, so I'm just like the type of person, things are kind of what you make it. And so you're going to kind of get out of it what you put into it. And the way I approach college, because I got my degree in, it's like business administration with emphasis in marketing. And you'd think I get my degree in ag, but I kind of figured through like growing up in the industry and stuff like that, I'd learn about agriculture. So I was like, I'm just going to immerse myself in the business world. And it was great because okay, I was in business calc, right? And I'm like, all of this math stuff, like, when am I actually going to use it? But I had to realize, like, they're teaching you how to think and how to approach, like, complex problems. So it was helpful in that. But I think the biggest thing is, like, the networking. So you're probably not familiar with Washington State University, but WSU has a really great alumni system. And so anywhere I go, or, like, a lot of my online supporters, etc., like anywhere I go, if I'm wearing like a WSU sweatshirt, I get a little go Cougs, and that also opens up a lot of doors for me. So it was worth it for me, especially I graduated in 2.5 years instead of 4.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm smarter than the average blonde.
Smarter than me ever. I like that. That's a good answer.
Don't take much, does it?
Hey, I was naturally blonde. I'm not going to lie. I was naturally blonde when I was a baby. Thank God I grew out of it. Because I didn't go to college, and I'm not smart enough to get through college. Okay.
Well, and here you are.
Yeah, that's why we get to play with massive dildos on the internet.
Exactly.
And, it's just got to be okay.
So this is pretty much my college course right here with you.
Oh, good. I'm here.
Professor. But I do. I feel like going to college, especially in your scenario, has a big impact on the farm because you're going to take over the farm, right? You're going to run it, and not having any education in business could potentially hurt it.
Yeah. So, okay, you're thinking the next generation of agriculture, and I'm always thinking like, 20 years down the road and stuff. Yep. Well, for example, my dad, like with how we spray our trees and stuff, we keep like immense spray records, but they're all handwritten. And so he has binders and binders and binders of all those spray records. And so it's like, it's learning how to streamline those processes and like digitize things and stuff. And so learning how to use Excel spreadsheets and like integrate different softwares onto your farm is something that I find super beneficial, and it's something I'd like to do. And then like on the business front, so we've been my entire life commercial farmers. And so our main source of income, our only source of income has been farming. And anymore with how farming is going, that's not sustainable. So I want to look at like diversifying some income. So whether it's ag tourism or selling directly, etc.
Right. And that's probably a really good approach on it to benefit the farm, benefit the growth of the farm, and to continue it for generations to come.
Yeah, definitely. So another question I have, like with the college and, all that kind of stuff. Let's say you're going to hire somebody for your farm, right? And let's say they just come out of college, they got like a master's degree in whatever the perfect degree is you're looking for, versus somebody who's ran a farm for 15 to 20 years and knows all that real life experience. Who are you taking in that situation?
Oh.
Ooh, dun, dun, dun.
I figured that'd be a good one.
Oh, this one's going to hit me in my heartstrings here.
Honestly,
I guess it depends on the position you're
Well,
hiring them
I'll
for.
tell you what, like my outlook on this is you're already looking into the future, 20 years down the road. By then, you and your children are going to have the education, the college levels to progress it. At this point in life, I'm going to take the guy like me, the old school guy that learned from people like your dad or your uncle or your aunt. They're here right now producing day to day. They can start today and they know everything they need to do tomorrow and the next couple years. And it's up to you and your family to progress to keep that going for a couple years or in 20 years or 30. I wouldn't take the college grad.
I like that you say that because from your line of work, from what I did before, so I was law enforcement my whole life, and you take somebody who has 10, 15 years on the force and put them in with somebody who's just came through a master's with criminal justice. They don't know anything about actually working the streets.
I'm old school.
All that. Yeah, I'm 100% taking experience over education.
But how about you, Kate?
Well, first of all, I'd look at like work ethic. Okay. Like, yeah, you might have a lot of experience, but do you have the work ethic and are you able to adapt? Because one thing that we run into is like a lot of people are stuck in their ways and you can't really train them the way that you need for like your company. And so like that's something that I look at too. So I almost gravitate towards the younger person because I've also got my dad there who's an incredible leader. And he is really good at he calls them young skulls full of mush and turning them into something. And I am a product of that. I was a young skull full of mush, and
I work with him every day. I work with him every day.
Yeah. And so like taking someone who, first of all, if they have the enthusiasm, they have the work ethic and the passion, you can turn them into whatever you need. And it's kind of nice when they don't have all of that previous work experience to, I guess, like alter how you can teach them.
I get that. Yeah, you want someone like a clean slate, someone who's not adapted into someone else's ways. You can teach them your way, your methods, and how things go around your farm. Absolutely.
Yeah, do you take any like I have a lot of buddies that are truck drivers or like trying to become truck drivers, and they always like companies are always like, well, you need 5+ years of experience to be hired by us, and it's like, well, you also got to have someone who's willing to take the chance on the young kid and train him up into something, and so I think I try to be mindful about that.
Yeah, no, and you're absolutely right when it comes to work ethic. I will say work ethic, I come from construction. I've worked in construction my whole life. If you don't have a good work ethic, you're never going to make it.
Yeah.
You're never going to make it. Farming's no different. I worked on dairy farms, beef farms in our area here, and having a good work ethic pretty much gives you a healthy establishment to learn and grow and help that business be what it becomes. And someone who has a bad work ethic, they don't want to learn. They don't want to be there. They're literally there from start to quit just to make a paycheck. And you can't teach them because they don't want to be taught. They literally just want to get paid. They don't want to learn.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad attitudes. Like, I think having humility and being corrected is something that's super lacking in people who have a bunch of experience because you think about how much the world has changed even in the last 20 years or so. Like, you've got to be adaptable. That experience is absolutely appreciated. Like, you can learn something from anyone, no matter where they are at in their career. But bottom line, like, if you're not willing to, be corrected and constantly try to improve yourself instead of just plateauing, that's not going to be a good deal in the long run.
Right, right. So, like, I worked with my father growing up, and I still do. I still work with him every day, as you do. Let's go back on that a little bit. Like, how was that growing up? Do you think that has a big part to do with, like, the mentality with the, like, employees when they show up to work, the motivational level, the work ethic? Do you think that's a good thing to have? Like, working with your dad growing up? It came hard.
Oh, yeah. Well, my dad's like my favorite person. So, I'm also a young woman in ag. So there's like a different approach there, right? And so a lot of his focus was telling me, okay, you're a chick, you're gonna go into so many rooms just full of guys. And you're going to be different than them, but this is why that's a good thing, and play to the advantages that you have as a woman, and be able to work with like another gender and realize that some people are going to doubt you at first, but you have to like know your own, like have your own confidence in yourself.
Right.
And so he kind of had that approach with me. And then I guess my dad was also just like, I feel like there's so many farmers that are like very stoic and not as personable when it comes to like company culture. But my dad is pretty much the opposite. Like you think about growing fruit, every single piece of fruit is handpicked. So with harvest, there comes a certain amount of energy. Like there's like 60 people working at a time. And so he feeds off of other people's energy, and he's so quick to acknowledge when someone does something good. He is my hype man. And that is such a good quality, I think, that we also miss out on in ag is like, hey, you did this right. Good job. And so when someone does let you down, they're like, they beat themselves up about it because they're like, oh, this person really believes in me and I don't want to let them down.
Boost them up, build morale. Keep a good, healthy work environment, keep the morale up, and let them know when they're doing a good job, but absolutely let someone know when they're doing a bad job.
Absolutely.
Because I'm like,
I guarantee it. Because I mean, there's a healthy line between knocking somebody down, but when you fuck up, you fucked up. You need to know that you fucked up.
I'm gonna tell you what, my dad, when I was growing up doing stuff construction wise, when I first started learning how to do like crown molding and stuff and trimming houses, I was like, man, he's gonna walk in here and be like, this looks perfect. He ain't gonna find nothing wrong with it, right? Like this thing looks good. It's meant. He'd walk in there, he'd look, and he'd take a little look around, and then he'd start finding shit. And it didn't matter how good I had it, he still found something to fucking say. And I was like, God damn, he hates me. Like, this man fucking hates me. I'm like, you know what, you motherfucker, I hate you. I'm going over here. I'm getting away from you as far as I can. And then you get hit with a 2x4 or a can of paint or a boot up your ass, But then as you're older, you understand.
And you almost thank him. You almost thank him.
Like, I'll almost go up to him now and shake his hand and be like, thank you for smacking me with that 2x4. Because, like, you're driving them to be a better person, to run the company better, to do better quality stuff. And it was simple little shit.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, if you can come and hold up to your old man standards, there's no boss that's going to pick you apart like your old man.
All right, Kate, relate. Yeah, that rhymed.
Yeah, dude.
We're getting ready to wrap. We're going to wrap. You're never going to build up to your old man standards.
Never.
I don't think you can actually. Do you actually think, in this world, can you actually get to his standards, or is he always going to be like a notch or two above where you can take the company?
If I was his son, I would say, yeah, you're right. But I'm his daughter.
Oh.
So it's different. And like I bring like a different feminine energy to things. Like we're detail oriented. We're
All right.
Different approaches. And so he notices, but my dad's also like he might be an outlier in the situation. But he realizes that I'm a younger generation. There's other things I bring to the table. And so I don't do other things as good as he does, but I also do other things that are better than he does.
Right.
I guess.
So like your whole TikTok and Instagram or Apple Girl Kate account, did he ever think any of that was possible to bring to the farm?
He was my biggest encourager on that thing. Like at the same time, I was like, so I started when I was 16 selling fruit. It's a business called Kate's Crates, and I started out with like some apricots, and because we had a few trees of apricots, and he was like, they're either gonna drop to the ground or you can sell them, and he's like, all right, sweetheart, like if you sell 20 boxes, I'll be impressed. And like that year I sold 44 boxes, and he's like, you're good at this. He's like, you're good at marketing. And I was like, I don't know what marketing is, but cool. And then he was like, you gotta keep doing it. And then I started doing social media, and he was all for it. Because he saw the results of it, and he's pretty quick to be like positive about it, but also make sure that I'm putting my best foot forward.
Right, so he knew you was taking it places that he probably never could.
Yeah, and he's like he didn't quite understand all of it at first. I mean, when I first started doing all of this, he had like a flip phone still, so he was like,
oh my God, so did my dad.
And then I started showing him like the different views. And then also like in the industry, like the fruit industry, people started talking about what I was doing because no one had ever done that stuff before for apples and pears.
Right.
And he was like, this is great because he's always tried to teach me leadership skills. He's like, yes, like the farm work itself is absolutely important and you need to know how to do that in order to manage people, but he was focused on my management and leadership abilities more than anything else.
I got you. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't have leadership abilities, you really can't run a company.
Exactly.
You can own it. By all means, you can own that company. But if you don't know how to treat the people or get what they need, it'll just sink. It'll crumble.
Yeah. You're always working with so many different personalities, is the thing. Everyone has, you have to realize, like, they're not just an employee. Like, these are people with their own lives and their own complexities. And so you got to work with that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I see so many companies that flourished, like, while I was a child, and then as soon as their kids got a hold of it, they pretty much felt entitled. They didn't want to better themselves or the company. I mean, I'm sure you can relate too, Hank. Like,
Oh yeah.
they didn't try to go to college to better the company in a certain way. It was just brothers and sisters fighting, arguing, just pretty much shredding each other apart. I mean, at some point you got to come together and just build it and run with it and
Pay tribute. So there's balance, right? I love that you appreciate like young people going to college and like bringing something back to the family business, but it's also like paying tribute to what made that business successful in the first place. Like incorporating some of those traditional values and like things like customer service and making sure that your like name actually means something. Especially, I grew up in a town, it's like population 1,200, right? And so if I go to the feed store and I don't have my pocketbook or whatever, they just know, they're like, okay, you're Thornton, like we got you, it's fine, you can take that and I trust that you'll pay me back. Those are like the type of things that are so important when you're going back to your family business is you want to make sure your name and your word actually means something, right?
and it's respected. It's not stomped in the mud.
So I guess this is a good time here to talk about our sponsor of today's episode, the alcoholic beverage sponsor of the Get You Some podcast, Dad Water. It's got 0 sugar, 0 carbs, 100 calories, and it's gluten-free.
And I'll tell you what, these things are damn good. And I feel like they're healthy for you. I mean, don't hold me to it.
I mean, it's about as healthy as you can get with drinking.
It's like you're hydrating while you're dehydrating, and they come in 4 different flavors, and they are fucking delicious.
They got the pineapple jalapeno, the blood orange, the grapefruit, and the lime. Kate, have you ever tried Dad Water?
No, but I've seen a lot of stuff on them. I just don't think we have them in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, right.
Middle of nowhere, of course. Well, we're going to have to send you a case.
You guys have an apple flavor, though.
Ooh.
Dad Water, if you're watching,
Ooh.
I know you're watching. Apple Kate says, get apple flavor. What are you doing?
An apple flavored Dad Water.
I think they got something with the mom water, but there's no Dad Water with the apple flavor.
Are we thinking more like a sweeter apple or like a sour apple? What would you
I feel like with
'Cause
tequila, it's got to be the sour apple.
Well, we've got the apple specialist right here, so.
Ooh, I feel like this is never done, but like an apple lime combination would be kind of good.
I think it would be good. So you take Tom, that's Tom right there, the lime, and you put a little bit of Kate and Tom, and you got apple.
You got a little Kate and Tom. You got a little apple with the lime. We're mixing. We're golden here.
There it is. Dad Water, you heard it here first.
Get you some.
That sounds a little promiscuous.
Well, I mean, what if you supply the apples for Dad Water to squeeze into this thing?
Oh, I'd love that.
Wouldn't that be?
That's
Look
gold
at
right
this
there.
marketing thing here going on. See, I mean, this is how it works. This is how the world works with marketing and social media partnerships. Isn't it?
Like with the naturally flavored.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah, next thing, let's jump into the next thing. I was curious I saw that you're on a tractor trailer. How did that come about, and how exciting was that to see your face plastered on an 18-wheeler?
I'm still waiting for mine.
We're working on it.
Crazy. Well, like the first thing, like when it was unveiled and stuff, is I got like the little toy, and I have the toy replica of it, and that was crazy. Unfortunately, it's on a Freightliner. I'm not a huge Freightliner fan, but
Yeah.
I got to get like a little Peterbilt to throw under
Yes.
there. But that was crazy. Like that was my second year of college. I was emailed about it and I was like, are they asking for pictures to put on a trailer? And there's a couple other farmers that are also on these trailers. I don't know how many trucks have them because there's a few out there. And they go all over like Washington, Idaho, Montana, and Oregon. And it just says like meet your grower on the side. I can send you guys some pictures if you want.
Yeah.
But then I took the pictures in October or whatever, and then I left for Switzerland for 3 months and they put together the trailer. So while I was out of the country, my picture was still driving around the country. And then when I got back, I got to see it in person. And that was crazy. And people send me Snapchats of it all the time. Like they'll see it in different places. And it's just me holding an apple and it's on both sides. It has my name. Like, I don't think you could get better.
Yeah.
That has got to be fucking cool
Oh
as
yeah.
shit.
Now, did that come from just like your apple farm, or did that come from social media?
That came from like a little bit of both. So actually, it's the warehouse Stimilts. So if you ever go into a grocery store and you see an apple with a sticker that says Stimilts and it's got like a little ladybug on it, that is the company that helps sponsor it. And so it says Stimilt Growers. So we're one of their growers. And then the trucks are hauled by Perone Produce, which is a wholesaler. So we grow the fruit, Stimilt packs it. They distribute it out to Perone, and then Perone Produce goes into a lot of regional grocery stores. And so,
Now, Stank, I've heard you say a couple times that you're a grower. Is that the same thing you're talking?
I am a grower, but I am a grower of different fruits. Okay?
there ain't no shame in that, okay?
I mean, I got different fruits. I can show them, but I don't know if we get to eat it or not.
Yeah, need a little fertilizer there.
Yeah, I couldn't mess that up.
Miracle Grow does wonders.
Yeah,
If you're feeling a little down the night before, you just sprinkle a little bit of this.
it burns though for some reason. I ain't sure.
It really does.
Just don't use Roundup, okay?
Yeah.
That's my number one go-to.
Yeah,
I
right.
get tired of shaving. I mean, it keeps everything down around it, you know.
You don't have to go to a clinic for it either.
That's terrible.
You threw that one over. That was
I know, I did. Well, she kept saying grower, and I was like, I got to do something.
I was like, I could see the juice.
Yeah, I had to do something.
Thinking of that.
Juice is rolling.
Juice is rolling. And we're talking apple juices, any kind of juices. How do you come up with your content? Like, where does the thought process, the
inspiration?
I mean, because, like, are you just, like, regular person, or is it just naturally...
Well, I think the greatest thing is I really don't have to put an act on for my videos. It's not like I have an alter ego that I'm bringing out. Like, this is just how I am. And I think like a lot of it when I first started was just because I had so much, and I still do have so much passion for what we're doing, but I was also learning a lot about why, like, I'd grown up, like, you grow up on the farm and you do certain things, but I was starting to think, like, why do we do that? And how do we do that?
Right.
And so I was, like, educating my audience and stuff. And then, like, a lot of my, like, funnier, more relatable content is just from my personal experiences. And just, like, whenever I'd see, like, a trend, I'd be like, oh, well, I can relate to that in this way, or I can make it my content. But a lot of it's, like, I have a four-wheeler and I'll just like be riding around in the orchard and I'm like, oh, that's something that's interesting. And you kind of like romanticize it a little bit.
Right.
I
So
got
you bring out the little sweet side. And see, like, I really think being yourself, staying humble in it, will land you further in life, especially on social media. I feel like so many different influencers aren't themselves in their videos. They try to like act like someone different or have a different voice or something, and that's not the actual person. The person you're watching on there is not who they are. And like actually sitting here talking to you, I'm like, you seem exactly like you do in your videos.
Yeah, definitely.
I related to that, like me and Hank, because we're just ourselves in all of our videos. We don't have to fake anything. We don't nothing. We've had a lot of people say all that talk and that twang is all fake and all this bullshit. And I'm like, right here it is. I'm sure you hear it. You're probably having a hard time understanding me because I sound like some country bumpkin hick fucking in the sticks, rosin loving
The podcast, I'm gonna have picked up your accent and just.
Yeah, I think
She's like Koala Harris.
you're on my team now. Apple Girl Kate, I tell you what, she replaces the dwarf.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna still keep Dolly Parton and Stone Cold. You're on my team now, all right?
There's something that's been bothering me. Not bothering me. Like I'm super proud of you for this. But I want to know how it happened. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did I see Theo Vaughn follow you?
Oh my god. She's gonna barf.
Yeah, no.
Follow you?
Did Theo Vaughn follow you?
Yes, he
That
follows
is
me.
incredible.
Don't lie to us.
Oh,
That's
that is
so-
a mag. What went through your mind when you saw that Theo Vaughn followed you?
She was still fixing her hair when we got her.
I gotta call him.
I was like,
And that motherfucker a bushel of apples, okay?
I don't know. I was just like getting coffee, and I like looked down, and I was like, "What?" And I thought it was a mistake. Like sometimes you like scrolling through videos and you accidentally follow someone, and I was just like expecting him to have like unfollowed me, and then I was like, "Huh." And then I was like, "How did Theo Vaughn end up with apples on his feet?" I really just want to know.
Oh my god. That dude is so cool.
So if you saw our last, I don't know if you saw our last podcast or not, but we did a segment that made us both a little uncomfortable. We had to say who we thought the most attractive male was.
Oh, it was so bad.
And I said Theo Vaughn. And I said, you know how some people be like, oh, no homo? I said all the homo. I said,
Like, he wants it.
I said Theo Vaughn is the best looking dude.
He wants it.
Socks off, like
Socks on, apples on. He wants it, you know? And I'm like, I want that old school, like Yellowstone, the old John Doe. And I forget his fucking name. See, Josh Lucas, that's it.
Yeah.
All right, so we should pop the question here.
Who do you think? Well, it's different for females.
No, it's not. It's
Who
not.
do you think the most attractive
man.
female? Oh,
No. Don't do that. Don't
I thought we were going
like that because we all know it's fucking Reba. Most attractive male ever.
male.
male. Any movies?
I guess I'm assuming someone's gender.
Mm.
So are you when you take your choice.
We do that here.
If you had to pick anything from country music to rock and roll to movies to fucking, I don't care if it's farming. I don't care.
Some dude seen down at the local mart.
Because
It don't matter.
take your time with this too, because it took me a long fucking time.
No, I got it. I got it right now. I got it right
Oh,
now.
you got it.
I think about this man every day. I think about this man every day because I have a coffee cup with him with like his shirt off.
It's
Okay.
me. It's Steak. It's fucking Steak.
Let me guess before you answer. I'm going to say, only because it's like the fad of everybody right now, I'm going to say Riley Green.
I'm gonna say it's
No.
me.
Okay. Mr. Green, if he sees this, my DMs are open. But like we gotta think back. We gotta go origin. We gotta go the OG.
Oh, you're kicking it back.
OG. Oh fuck, we like old school kicking it
With-
back.
With considerably more chest hair.
Michael Jackson.
Oh, George Strait. George Strait. Come on, give it to the king.
Elvis.
Tom Selleck.
Oh, okay.
Oh, fucking Tom Selleck. I'll tell you,
Oh.
he played in the ranch.
He's a
didn't
good looking man. I wouldn't do him.
Magnum PI. Oh,
he? Would you let him do you?
Probably. I wouldn't do it.
All right.
I wouldn't
So
do it.
Tom Selleck, that's actually, you actually just rocked my world with that.
yeah, I know. I think I've had a crush on him since I was very young. And I think I mentioned that one time. One time I was in English class and my teacher, Mr. Hedridge, hi.
What's up, Mr. Hedridge?
How you doing, bud?
I was like, yeah, Tom Selleck could get it. And he's like, I don't think anyone your age knows who Tom Selleck is.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, Tom Selleck could still get it. Have you seen him lately?
I'll tell you what, next time you see me, I might have a mustache. Trim it all.
I don't really know where it comes from because I have a great relationship with my father. I don't have daddy issues, but
I wouldn't even, see, that didn't even come to my brain.
No.
It didn't come physically or metaphorically. It just, you brought it right up.
I'm
He's a
acknowledging.
handsome dude. Tom Selleck is.
Got those like, they're not even dimples, but they're just like those
Hair.
chiseled lines. And then he's got these laugh lines that are just, he has a twinkle in his eye, the mustache, he's built.
You know what's funny? I honestly thought you being the country bumpkin, farmer's daughter, running the company, I thought you was going to say Burt Reynolds. And I wasn't off. Like, that was kind of my next.
So I love Burt Reynolds too because Smokey and the Bandit's my favorite movie of all time.
Oh my God, mine too.
And like my Instagram bio before like my social media or not, it was like in the midst of like when I was starting to grow my following was just a frog looking for her bandit.
Oh my God.
How long have you been on social media now?
Okay, well I'm 22, so I've been on social media probably since.
No, I mean like as Apple Girl Kate.
Oh.
I wished I did this shit when I was 22.
So like probably like 5 years.
5 years? Okay.
Hey,
4 years as Apple Girl Kate. Before it was just like I'm Kate Thornton, whatever.
Yeah, right.
Yes, it seems like you did very well for yourself though.
I mean, I don't have a huge following, but like people know me. Like my personal brand is strong, at least.
Right. Yeah.
Do you know how hard it is to be a female that doesn't take off her clothing, getting people excited about apples?
Actually, I do. I do. Okay.
I'm telling you right now, if I was a female, it'd be over.
I guarantee you right now, I'd have
I can promise you I would sell some apples.
If I had OnlyFans, I could save
labeled crapples when I was done. I'm sorry. I have all the respect for you in the world, but they would be crapples when I was done. Because I mean, the world is full of fucking nasty people.
Yeah,
I know.
As much as like I don't give a shit in life, if I was a female, I'm telling you right now, I would be famous, I would be rich, and I would be seeing how many apples I can shoot out of my ass into a bucket. I don't know. That's
what I said. We selling crapples, motherfucker.
They call me semi-automatic.
Like a damn Nerf gun. Just
no, they ain't got no power. I got a little G-force on there.
Oh my God! But I'll tell you what, depending on what you feed him, you ain't even got to cock him. He just fucking
eat a can of beans.
Like this would be like America's next best arsenal.
Yeah,
well, keep poking him, and he keeps like, boom, 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 boom.
I'd be shooting them out, knocking people's eyes out, all kinds of shit.
Oh my gosh! Well, like speaking of origin stories, like how did you guys?
Go ahead,
fellas. How did you guys get started? Like, because this seems to me like this is something that I've told my buddies that they should do because I see their Snapchat stories and just like how they act, and it's just like good old boys shooting the shit. And I'm like, you guys are brilliant for actually putting a camera out there and putting it out there because so many guys I know are just like, well, I don't want to look gay for like putting videos out there. But it's like, it's a great way to, I don't know, just put yourself out there and you so many doors open.
Yeah, but like some people really, they can be their self when there's no camera rolling.
Exactly.
And they can be the funniest fucking person you've ever seen in your life. But they're like inner whatever bullshit they got going on like men do. I'm sure you can relate to that. Like as soon as they know there's a camera going on, fucking freeze up. I mean, you could be the best singer, the best guitar player, drummer, fucking jerk offer. I don't care. But as soon as there's a camera on you, you lock up. You can't do it, you know.
That's a good point. Yeah. I film a lot of farmers and stuff. Like I work with farmers and there's the funniest people I know. But as soon as I pull them out, I feel like I'm like a mom with like a toddler and trying to get them to smile. And
right. And I mean, it's the same on like construction sites. Those guys are the fucking funniest people you'll ever meet in your life. But as soon as they know you are trying to grab a picture, a video of them, I mean, they're like,
they freeze. Yeah.
They freeze. They won't do it. So I guess like our story comes down to us not giving a fuck, number one, because they'll get you some podcast, Hank Stink don't give a shit. But it starts out with you.
Yeah, so basically what had happened was I tried to do softball content. And it did good. I got my account. I was doing that for 3 months, 4 months. I got my account up to like 20,000 followers.
Mind you, this guy's dating my sister and says, I don't want to work. I'm being an influencer. I want to do the least amount of work, make the most amount of money. And I'm like, okay.
So we go through the softball page. I started making some okay money, decent money, and it was all from views. And I was like, okay, whatever, this is pretty good. And then I figured out once you join the creator program on TikTok, they kill your views. They just annihilate you. And I was like, well, I said, and I was slowly starting to run out of content ideas because there's only so much you can do with softball. So I was like, well, me and him got to be pretty good buddies at the time. And I was like, well, this would be more fun if you had somebody to do it with, interact with. And, you've got two minds working together instead of one. So I called him up. I sent you a text. I said, hey, we're going to make a redneck page. It's going to be called Redneck Reviews. I said, I'm going to be Hank. You're going to be Stank. And then I told him like all of our intro and everything. And we originally started doing like real reviews and it sucked. Nobody watched it. We were getting like 100 to 1,000 views every time. And we were like, damn, man, like, why is this not taking off? And I told him, I said, well, America's pretty fucking stupid. I said, there's a lot of idiots out there.
No, it wasn't even like that. We were standing in my wood shop after trying all these big videos.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? Here's a clamp.
Yeah.
Let's just review a clamp. And I'm like, what do you mean? Let's review a clamp. Like, how the fuck are we going to review a clamp?
It's a clamp.
He's like, it's a fucking clamp. And I'm like, right. So we started it off. We did our thing. I went, we did it's a clamp. And it fucking went nuts.
I bet we hit and then we had somebody picking on it, saying some shit about, this was when Bud Light was doing all their transgender shit. So I posted the video of the clamp and my caption was, these fucking Bud Light drinkers don't get it. And maybe 10, 11 hours, we had over 70,000 followers already.
I remember
it was like flying.
So at the beginning of, I don't want to make this about us, but we had what, 6,500, 7,000 followers at that time?
Because we were trying to get to 10.
And I was at work that morning and the clamp video started going nuts. And I'm watching it in my work truck and I'm like, come on, motherfucker, come on, just hit 10,000. Like, if we can hit 10,000, maybe I don't need to stay here for the day. Maybe I'll just go to fuck home, whatever.
That was the dream.
I thought that was like the dream point. Like, you get rich, whatever, you don't. It's all big, We hit 10,000. I'm like, holy fucking shit, we did it. And then by that night, we were at like 60,000. And then the next night, we were at 100.
Yeah, and it was like 150, 200.
I was like, how in the fuck
flying?
How does one video do?
Well, there's an opportunity for it too, because okay, think about there's the Western world, there's like the Dale Brisbys, there's all those fellas. Yep. See how we talk about Theo Vaughn, like he's done an incredible job of like touching on his like backwoods kind of white trash like upbringing, right? Yeah. And like people can relate to that. And like who was the last person? Maybe like Whistling Diesel had a lot of like that audience, but he's gone on and done his own thing, which good for him. He's capitalizing on it. But like people that are in small towns, and you guys are like northern guys, right? It's not all about like the southern folks, and like we're looking for representation as well. So you guys came in at the perfect time.
Yeah. This is the last thing we'll talk about with us, because we don't make this about us, like you said. But so we went through the whole thing with TikTok. We got up to like 330,000 followers. And then once we went on live, said some things we shouldn't have.
No, we didn't.
We got banned a couple times, and then our page died after that. Like, we were really struggling.
They didn't like.
So we were like, well, for example, you called some dude a fag.
He fucking deserved it.
And then I called a black guy an antique piece of farming equipment.
They fucking deserved
And
it.
we got tore up on TikTok, and then I was like, well, we need to make a switch because this ain't working. So we did a switch to Instagram. Our first ever Instagram video we posted was of the clothes hanger. It's a clothes hanger.
I remember that one.
So that was the first one we posted. 15 million views.
Yep.
And then it was just 100,000 followers that night. And then it just kept going.
Didn't make a cent.
I don't know. All I can say is probably like Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg must have just thought that was the funniest shit ever. And he was like, yes.
Yeah, because they control everything.
Well, it was weird because on Facebook, we struggled hard on Facebook. Like, we were like 40, 50 followers. Like, it was just not blowing. And then just, I don't know.
It was blowing.
It was blowing. Within like the last month, we're already at 110,000 followers on Facebook?
Yeah, we're right over 110.
Yeah, so it's random when it takes off, when you don't know when it's going to go, but.
When you walk into the diner right down the street from here and somebody calls you out, I feel pretty good.
Yeah,
it happened the other night.
It's rewarding.
I was like,
that's amazing. That's incredible.
Yeah,
Well, it's
so,
growing. It is growing.
slowly but surely. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right, so this gets me off too. I mean, it's getting me off.
You get off easily.
I need some hymns,
breather?
Blue Chew or something. I've been waiting all night for the answer. We got to ask her the question.
Are you ready?
And I am like, boom, 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 boom,
All right.
fireworks going off. Cage match, set, ready to go Tuesday night live.
You are in a remote island. There is a cage. You are having a cage fighting match against a 500-pound transgender monkey, and his name is Tim Tina.
Boy, girl.
Boy, girl.
This thing's got a hammer.
Yeah, he's got a hog.
It's got some big old apples like you've never seen in Washington before. I'm talking juicy,
It's funny.
pungency, just
We actually have the stem of his apple right there.
there it is. Get that out of here. Oh, I knocked over the camera.
Anyway, so you're fighting a 500-pound transgender monkey
On juice.
on juice. You get to pick 3 people to help you fight that monkey. Who are you picking and why?
Hold on. Is this on the island or in a cage?
It's on an island in a cage.
All right, so you're on the island in a cage. You can't call any of the good old boys that you know back home. You can't call us because obviously we don't have a helicopter to come help.
We've already
us,
went
so
through Tim Tina once. We lost.
We'll show up on a flat bottom like 13 days later.
Yeah.
Trying. So Tim Tina, boy, girl, big 500-pound monkey, Hong Kong.
transgender.
Dog, cage match. You get to pick 2 people.
3 people.
3 people.
It's
Oh, 3?
her- yeah,
okay, all
it's her
right.
plus
You
3.
and 3 people to fight this big-ass monkey. I mean, it ain't even a big-ass
I'm
monkey.
dying to hear the
He
answer.
might have a little ass with a big front. You know, like, it's the big front monkey.
We are dying to know. So, Apple Girl Kate, who are you picking and why?
And we
I'm
are
not as fun as you guys because I'm trying to be like realistic about the situation. It sounds
Don't be.
terrifying.
that's where you're gonna get wrong. You can't be realistic.
It
Well,
is.
because I'm going with Steve Irwin. Okay, Steve Irwin knows his stuff. He knows how he's
not a bad guess. That's
He
not
like
bad.
reaches down there, man. He's like, crikey, mate.
and it's not a stingray, so he'll be fine.
Yeah, right.
And-
This might be worse. I mean, this could be worse. You get impaled by a stingray tail or a monkey cock.
For some reason,
I think I would.
no. And then for some reason, the first who first comes to mind for some reason, I don't even know why, is Rob Gronkowski. And I think it's just because
The Gronk. Oh my god.
You know what?
Holy
He is
fuck.
about a 500-pound transgender monkey, so that works out.
Tell you what,
pretty
that
well.
motherfucker, he probably would run right up there and grab a hold of that thing. Like, let's get.
He's like, oh, it's a football.
That might be the best answer I've had.
That was great. That was great.
Yeah. And then the last one, cool, because we were
number
talking.
3. Number 3 is important.
Yeah, it's your finisher.
Okay.
This is like the Punisher. It's like if the other 2 fail, you need this one to come, like, see you in through. Physically, medically.
Really, because of stamina and consistency, he will not like give up the pursuit. Would be Buford T. Justice of Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh my god!
I like it.
Jackson
I dropped my mic.
That's a pretty solid. That's a pretty solid
God
list.
damn it! I'm telling you what, you might be my new hero.
That was solid. That you kind of talk
Oh
it
my
down like you were
God.
trying to be realistic. That was a damn good list.
I'm telling you what, Buford T. Justice, it didn't even cross my mind. Like, that is a terrifying fucking dude right there.
Oh,
my
cigarette in hand,
god.
45 in the other.
Duck, or you be talking out of your ass, and then they take the top off the car.
All right, we're gonna clip this part out, but I'm gonna come through. This is just so we can get a good clip of you answering it.
Shit.
I'm gonna come through. I'm gonna ask you again, and then be like, "So, Kate, be like, this is your final answer. Who are the 3 you're taking?" And just say them back to back to back, because I'm gonna post a picture beside each of them when you say it. So,
Okay.
just
Wait, who do
quick, not really quick, but like boom, boom, boom.
Okay. All right.
All right, you ready? All right, so Kate, you know the question. You're fighting a 500-pound transgender monkey named Tim Tina. Who are the 3 people that you were coming to have your back? Name them.
All right. covers all the bases. Rob Gronkowski,
Phenomenal.
Steve Irwin, and
Crikey.
Jackie Gleason, aka Buford T. Justice of Smoking the Bandit.
You guys heard it here first.
I'll
That is
tell
a
you what.
phenomenal list.
That's gonna give me a run for my money.
Yeah, that was
Right.
good. I thought we had a pretty solid list, but
It's Buford T. Justice of Texas.
for me, it was Rob Gronkowski. That was
No, it's not even that for
I was
me.
not ready for that.
It is definitely Buford T. Justice for me. That motherfucker can scare anybody.
If I could ever change my answer, I would change mine to the who's the big feller from Of Mice and Men? You remember that dude Lenny?
Lenny.
Lenny, yeah. He would just hug a rabbit and kill it because he's got that dart string.
Buford T. Justice. God damn, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, that was good.
That
That was
had
a
him and
solid
Stone
list.
Cold in that midget, and I'd have fucking had a dynamite team.
You know what we ought to do at the end of the year?
Like get them all together to actually go fight a monkey.
Yeah, that. But no, we'll make this like a.
Shit.
This will get people on the podcast too. We're gonna do a list, and at the end of the year, everybody's gonna vote on it, and we'll give the winner like a couple $1,000.
Yeah, that'd work.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That'd work.
Like you have everybody go in and vote who would
Yeah.
most likely
Yeah.
beat Tim Tina, and then the winner just get a couple grand.
Yeah.
I think that would be
That's-
sick.
Yeah, like you get a couple bands and
And one of you guys has to dress up as Tim Tina.
oh my God.
We'll fly the person in and then hire 3 actors to come in.
Dildo in hand.
That is fucking, that's a serious weapon right there.
Dude, it's like 8 pounds, and let me
I
tell
like
you
it.
about the suction of that thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It is.
Fucking be careful.
If you stick it on the ground and you pull it up, you're gonna break your wrist when the backfire, the pure power.
Name for it?
Mystery concrete.
What's that?
Name for it? Like the Punisher?
We just call it Kong Dong. I like the Punisher. That's pretty good.
It's not bad.
Well, we just want to thank you so much
Thank you
for
very much.
agreeing to come on here and do this with these 2 idiots.
Yep.
And
That's us.
everybody here, Get You Some podcast. Y'all know what to do. Get you some.
Thank
That
you
was
guys.
great.
Yeah,
That
thank
was
you very
great.
much.
That was really fun. You
Did
guys,
you have a
that,
good
I haven't
time?
done a podcast like that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're
Normally people are so like they ask me like super serious things, and because like my content is so wholesome, it's because I keep it like very clean because I'm trying to be taken seriously, but
Yep.
like it also I'm a fun person to be around, I'd like to think.
yeah, this kind of opens you up a new door. People will be like, "Whoa, she's actually talking about dildos and shit with them." Well,
I know. Well,
we
now
all
it's
like
like
that.
I'm 22. It's like I'm an adult. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be the 17-year-old girl who started on social media.
Right. Now, from everything we talked about, I knew we threw a lot of extra shit in there. Is there anything you want clipped or that you don't feel comfortable being posted?
No, I'm great with all that.
Sure.
Mhm.
Okay, I was like, because we can cut out anything or bleep it, or I didn't know if you wanted to be talking about transgender monkeys and all that.
Oh, I was surprised that you brought up the Theo Vaughn thing.
Dude, when I saw that, I was like, for one, I said, I hate you. I said, but I am very, very proud because, like, I was like, that's a pretty big.
He's been chatting me up too. I didn't want
Yeah?
to.
You're lying. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's like we're like voice messaging, and yeah, he's like he asked me like what I drive, and I was like I drive an F350, and